Permission to begin. When you talk about the coronavirus lockdown and specifically this motion, we tell you that first of all, the duty of proposition was to prove to us why economic prosperity or this certain low level of economic activity was so much more important than the health of your people, right? And we are going to deal with all of their argumentation on two levels and in two clashes, right? First of all, which model better caters to people and the coronavirus. Secondly, whether or not a complete lockdown is more practically achievable rather than smart lockdowns, right? So first of all, let's get into the first clash. So let's talk about the idea of delaying the coronavirus, right? This is an analysis we've consistently given to you throughout our speeches. When we talk about how, when they concede to ideas such as SOPs aren't being followed or police are being overruled in marketplaces, we tell you that that is exactly why within Pakistan, you have people increasing contact within even locking down these hotspot zones. Because we tell you that, we tell you that with this kind of increased contact within marketplaces that you see in Lahore, within streets, for example, we tell you that is when you're going to increase the kind of infection rate that you already have, which is going to lead to people actively being infected more within their model. We tell you when you have a country that is completely under lockdown, we don't have to manage, this person is from a specific area which is under lockdown, we should find him, which doesn't effectively curb anything at the end of the day. We tell you it's much easier to control the coronavirus under our side of the house when we tell you that within 1 or 2 months, such as in Kashmir and New Zealand, as we've seen, the coronavirus cases can drop significantly, right? We tell you it was never to prove our job to prove to you how we're going to get rid of the coronavirus. It was our job to prove to you how a complete lockdown would better cater to it. And we tell you that we already have, right? And we tell you even after this, as they claim that more cases can still come up, we tell you it's much easier to control it once you have a smaller number of cases after my first class, sir. And we tell you that that is why we've proven to you how relatively under our side of the house we're dealing with coronavirus more, right? But we tell you that this kind of spread of corona is harmful to people under their side of the house because of the fact that it is a health risk at the end of the day. People are dying. There are 4,700 reported cases of deaths within Pakistan, and we tell you that this kind of number is only going to grow. We tell you that it is under no circumstances is it justified for people to go out and be at risk of this disease, which is deadly to them, just because they can just so that they can earn daily wages. Especially when we've proven to you, and I'll get into this further in my class, that the government can afford to economically support these people, right? We tell you that when you have people who are dying, we tell you that is much more important to deal with rather this idea of economic prosperity that will exist on a very, very low level under their model, right? Moreover, we tell you that economic short-term survival is a much better alternative for them to go to, which we are granting under your model, right? We tell you that when you have this, we tell you that under a complete lockdown, yes, it's only very well regulated essential services will exist, and we tell you that people will be given these ration packages, and we tell you that this is enough for them to survive for 1 or 2 months, and we tell you that when the government can afford to do this, it is much better. It is much better, and it is much easier to actively restore your economy when this lockdown is lifted and when the coronavirus is curbed, right? Rather than continuing under this model, which they propose, where people will keep on going outside, keep on working, keep on having a low level of economy because of the risk of coronavirus is under no circumstances being curbed over them, right? So we tell you that under our side of the house, people will be safe. People will have their families. People will actively be healthy, and we are protecting them from losing their parents or their grandparents. Under their side of the house, they want people to go out and earn through some low level of economic activity, however, still be at risk, still put their own lives at risk as well as their loved ones, right? And we don't really want to live in a world like that. But before I move on into the second clash, yes, sir.
If a strict lockdown is such an ideal solution to every single one of the problems we have identified, why haven't India, USA, Brazil, Malaysia, or UK enforced a strict lockdown for a longer period of times? Why have they switched to a smart lockdown even when they have more resources?
we tell you again, sir, within the context of Pakistan, where this debate actually lies, we tell you that we've already proven to you how within Pakistani context, this is a better alternative. We don't need to justify why US or UK don't do it, right? But moving on to the idea of practical possibility of this complete lockdown, right? They never actively dealt with, first of all, our whole idea of irresponsibility of people. We tell you that again, people have this whole idea within them and this narrative that exists within society, especially when complete lockdown doesn't exist anymore, that coronavirus isn't as deadly as it is, right? And that is why you see people still actively going out to marketplaces without putting on masks, without keeping, without social, and having gatherings without social distancing, right? They never actively told us how they're going to, how under a smart lockdown, you're going to prevent people from religious gatherings or weddings, which is something that all three of us gave you examples of, and we've seen within the status quo, right? Moreover, we tell you the idea of we tell you the economically sustaining this lockdown, right? We've again and again irrefuted. We have had arguments that went unrefuted by them, which is about transferring budgets from other areas, right? We tell you that under a complete lockdown, you do not have education facilities working practically. You do not have public transports. You do not need as big of a defense budget anymore. You don't have developmental projects, right? We told them to prove to us how, despite all of those, that budgets that can potentially be diverted, why a government still can't afford to provide ration packages, to afford this kind of short-term economic survival, right? We're not going for the best economic prosperity because of the fact that we tell you that even under economic survival, when we can cater to people's health, it's much more important to us, right? But moreover, we tell you the idea of uncertainty around daily wage earners, right? And this poor community, which became a great stakeholder within our debate, right? We tell you that when you have smart lockdowns and you have people within a certain sector of Islamabad, for example, in G10, being under lockdown, they can't move to workplaces which might be in another area. You make these people and you make these wage earners disposable, right? They are replaced, and that is when they lose their living. We tell you under our model, when everyone is being provided these kind of ration packages, you're not at a risk of some people losing their jobs over others, right? We tell you that people are kicked out of the job market because of a smart lockdown, just because they can't leave a specific area, however other people can. Ramesh already gave you this whole analysis around the idea of economic and socio-economic disparity, which again went extremely unrefuted by their side, right? We tell you that the second prop brought this whole argument about provincial versus federal governments, right? We tell you, yes, even if we can see that provincial governments will be great at handling smart lockdowns, we tell you that under our model, you don't even need that kind. You don't even need to draw that kind of comparison between a federal or a provincial government handling a lockdown better. We tell you that we want a countrywide lockdown, which is automatically going to be more easy to control, right? We tell you that having people knowing who we can't actively have police or military people knowing who or who not belongs to a certain hotspot area. You don't go around wearing it like a badge, right? We tell you it's much easier to enforce a lockdown everywhere where no people are going outside at the end of the day. So we don't really see why this whole idea was brought up in the first place, right? Moreover, we tell you that economic prosperity and this kind of low-level economic activity is never going to be sustainable for Pakistan because of the fact that the international community and the international market is recovering where we are not. And that is why we tell you that it's hampering progress within Pakistan. So because on our side of the house, we're protecting the people, we're ensuring a future economic activity, which is much better than the long-term economic activity they're providing under smart lockdowns. Vote for team opposition.